Hello. This video will discuss the creation and formation of the Izora Elaine Dean Educational Center. The Izora Elaine Educational Center was first created in June 2019, and a lot of people are wondering who exactly is Izora Elaine Dean. Well, let me tell you a little bit more about myself, and then I will also tell you a little bit more about Izora Elaine Dean and the formation of the center. My name is Pam McEwen. I am the founder and the CEO of the Izora Elaine Dean Educational Center, also known as IED. For approximately the past 20 years, I have had the amazing opportunity of working as an educator here in the United States. I currently hold a couple of different degrees. Included among these would be a Bachelor of Business Administration, a Master's in Business Administration, and a Master in the Art of Teaching Early Childhood Unified. Thanks to these degrees, I've had an opportunity to work as an educator in several different capacities. For instance, I've worked as a substitute teacher, a paraeducator, a classroom teacher. I've worked as an instructional coach with the focus in behavior and structure. Currently, I work as an MTSS facilitator and as a college professor. I'm also an entrepreneur and have several other business ventures as well. Throughout my journey as an educator, I have had the pleasure of learning from an array of talented educators. I have benefited tremendously from all of the mentoring that I have received over the years, but there is one mentor in particular that touched my heart as a little girl, and she inspired me to become the woman that I am today and to open up this center in her name. Please let me tell you about her story. So as a young girl, I was inspired by my grandmother, Mrs. Izora Elaine Dean. She was the mother of 13 children, and she was the grandmother of many. I was fortunate enough to be her grandchild, and I can still remember the love that she displayed to myself and to others. I also can remember all of the valuable lessons that she taught me over the years and how she inspired me to be the woman that I am today. The picture that you see on the screen is a picture of myself all the way to the left when I was a teenager, and you can see my grandmother standing to the right of me. You also see my mother and my sister in the picture as well. Something that I remember about my grandma is that she came often to visit, and we also visited her often. And it was during these times that she really taught me the importance of education, and that she really inspired me to become an educator and to think about my future. So one of the interesting stories that my grandmother, and I also refer to her as Mama because that's what we lovingly call her, but one of the interesting stories that Mama would always share with me is her upbringing, or was her upbringing, in Oklahoma. And so she was raised in Oklahoma, and she went to school in Oklahoma. Now, the interesting thing about the time period that she lived in is that it was a time period when girls were only allowed to wear dresses. And so she would get up every single morning and she would get herself ready for school, and she would throw her, her dress on, and she would take out the door for school. Many days she would walk 9 miles to get to school, and she would walk 9 miles to get home from school. And she would do this in the snow, wearing her dress. Regardless of what the temperatures were, she loved school so much that she was always there. In fact, her parents, whose picture you actually see on the screen, they would come in to wake her up every single morning, only to find that she was long gone and that she had already got herself up, got dressed for school, and was gone to school. And I just found that story to be so amazing. I could not picture myself walking in a dress, freezing 9 miles to go to school. And that's just to walk to school, and then those 9 miles to walk back from school as well. And so that was very, very interesting, and that was inspiring to me. And as I got older and I really started thinking about that, and I really started wrapping my mind around, wow, 9 miles, that's a long way to walk to get to school. And so there definitely had to be a deep love and a passion for learning and for education there. And also, the interesting thing about her story is that she also spoke Chickasaw. So she would actually teach me some of the language as I was growing up. And unfortunately, I have not retained any of that. But it's just interesting to see that years and years later, even as a 60-year-old, 70-year-old woman, she still held on to Chickasaw. She still held on to the language that she spoke and learned how to speak as a child. And all of that was due to her deep love of education and her deep love and passion for learning. Many years later, she had an opportunity to actually travel back to Oklahoma, and she visited the area where she actually went to school at. And unfortunately, of course, her school was no longer standing there. But she was so overwhelmed with emotion just to have an opportunity to stand on the ground where her school once stood. And she also had an opportunity to visit her home where she lived also as a young girl. So it's interesting that the power of education stuck with her decades and decades and decades later. So what I remember about Mama is the fact that she was a hard worker, and that was something that was instilled in her since she was a young child. And that is also something that she learned throughout her early childhood education. She went on to raise a very close-knit family. We would have huge family gatherings, and as a family, we're still pretty close. We would gather and dance on the carport for hours. We would have huge family dinners. There was a lot of love, and there was a lot of laughter. And something else I remember in particular about my grandmother, Mama, is that she was a fabulous cook. She would make an entire pan of biscuits for me, and when she knew I was coming to visit, she would reserve that pan of biscuits just for me so that no one else could touch it until I got there. The kitchen was the heart of the home, and it was the place where we all gathered and where we had amazing conversations, life lessons. It was the place where we heard about her childhood experiences. It was the place where she gave us advice, and where she really made sure that she had an opportunity to inspire and educate us and support us, and to really see what we were thinking, to help us to think critically about the choices and the decisions that we made. It was a place that was full of warm smiles. It was a place where we knew we loved to be. In the picture that's on the screen, you see a picture of her, my grandmother, all the way to the right, and then you also see a picture of my mom all the way to the left, and that is a picture of my niece when she was younger. That's there in the middle. She actually is in her 20s now, and so this is a treasure, a keepsake. That picture actually is. But I will tell you one thing about my grandmother. This picture was taken in her kitchen. You can't see the full kitchen, but you can just imagine, and you can see how they were seated at the table, and that's where all the conversations really would occur. Some interesting conversations. My grandmother was small in stature. She stood probably about a little over 5 feet, but she had a strong presence, and that is because she empowered her mind as a young child, and she made sure that she was educated so that she could pass that on to others within her family as well. Who is Izora Elaine Dean? She was my beautiful grandmother, known as Mama. She believed that everyone deserved and needed an education regardless of race, gender, color, creed, religion, whatever it may be. She believed that everyone needed an education. And that is part of the reason why this center is named after her. By means of her experiences, life stories, advice, education, even her food, even the pan of amazing biscuits, she made sure that she translated and transferred the importance of education to her children and to those who come after her. As a result of the beliefs of my grandmother, Miss Izora Elaine Dean, the Educational Center was opened up in her name on June 1st, 2019. Staff and learners affectionately refer to this center as IED, which would be the initials for Izora Elaine Dean. A large amount of time and effort and energy was exerted into the creation of the Izora Elaine Dean Educational Center, or IED, from a variety of people. All I can say as an educator is thank you, because I had this vision of what I was wanting to be able to do, and a lot of people helped to bring that to life, whether it was through donations, whether it was by physically coming up and walking through the space and providing me with amazing feedback. I am so thankful to everyone who has exerted their time and their effort and their energy into IED. The design of IED has been interesting. We've had a lot of interesting moments and a lot of fun actually designing the environment so that it has a 3D effect to it, and so that it includes calm, brain-friendly colors that children and adults would love to learn in. There has been a lot of mentoring and a lot of guidance that has been given, and there has been a lot of research that has went into the design of the building as well. Our goal at IED, the Izora Elaine Dean Educational Center, is to spark a mind and to change a life. And we have several different services that we do this through. One of our main services is tutoring. We do tutor learners of all ages, and we have an array of subjects that we actually do tutoring through. We also offer academic coaching that is for educators, and that's also for businesses as well. We have our parent and family resources. Our goal is to empower parents and families so that they know how to support their children and they know how to support themselves through the educational process. We want them to be able to know exactly what it is that they need to do to be able to advocate for themselves and for their families. And so we offer a lot of different courses and a lot of different resources for parents and for families so that they will be able to do that. We also offer educator resources as well, whether it is an opportunity to sit down and to assist with lesson planning, or it might be something as simple as going through a couple of our courses. We have various courses that we offer, from classroom management all the way to lesson planning, all the way to looking over state standards. We have an array of things that we offer for educators as well, even if they're needing a quiet place to come and do some lesson planning, or if they're wanting a place to meet with colleagues to be able to discuss things that that educators need to discuss. We have that available for them as well. We also offer summer camps, and our summer camps are a little different from traditional camps. Throughout our summer camps, it looks different because we actually take more of an academic approach, and we do this because we offer a free academic assessment for every single learner who's involved in our camp. And then through our camp, it actually looks like more of a school day. So we will touch on all of the different subjects that we would that a learner would actually touch on throughout the school day, such as reading, math, writing, science, social studies. And so we actually work to empower over the summer and to be able to help the learner to grow over the summer versus just playing games. We're going to play games also, but it's more of an academic setting for our summer camps. So those are all of our services that we actually offer through the Izora Elaine Dean Educational Center through IED. I would like to say thank you to everyone who has played a role in helping the Izora Elaine Dean Educational Center to become a reality. If you are interested in any of our services, please let us know. Thank you so very much for helping us and for supporting us.
8, 9.
7 plus 2 equals?
7.
7 plus 2 equals?
7. 8.
Count them again.
7.
Count your 7 plus your 2. Count them again.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Good job. 7 plus 2 equals?
9.
Yes, sir. 7 plus 2 equals 9.
Yeah!
Yes, you did it.
Yes.
I'm so proud of you. Good job, good job,
Yeah!
good job. Doesn't that feel good?
Yes!
Say, I did it.
I did it! Miss B!
Yes, you did. Good job. Look at all your work today.